you're not going to see any money from me until I make you the monthly payment. So the first time you're going to see any money from me is the monthly. So I'm doing everything I can to let them know that they get no money down without saying you get no money down. Because if you say you get no money down, they're immediately going to want a down payment. This is what I've learned. So but they're willing to accept that when you explain it like that, that look, you're not going to get any money from me until the monthly payments begin. That makes them say, well, what about a down payment? So in other words, let's say in this deal, it's $295. Hey, the $295 I owe you, we're paying you $3,600 a month. And when we're ready to cash you out at some point between now and 5 years, it could be earlier than that, you'll get that big lump sum at that time. But just so that we're clear, the first time you're going to see any money from me is that monthly payment. You good with that? Now, most of the time they're going to say, well, what about a down payment? Some of the time they're going to be like, as long as I'm getting my $295 and I'm getting $3,600 a month, I'm fine. That's what we want, right? Because that's a winner for us every time. And then if they're like, well, what about the down payment? So you want to give me an opportunity to say that, because you'd rather have it happen on the phone than when you're out at the house, right?
Right.
So let's just kind of go back and try that part again, because that is the most important part of the whole role play is to see if you can get into this thing without any money down. Now, remember, if I say I got to have something, you do what you did yesterday, which is go into that negotiation cascade, and we see how low we can go. And
gotcha.
Then, so let's just kind of rewind. Start that over again.
Okay. So Joel, just to recap, so I'll be buying the house for $295. The monthly payment would be the $3,600, and 5 years is when I'll be cashing you out, or maybe even earlier. So just to understand, as far as the first payment that you're going to receive from me will be that $3,600, correct?
I guess.
Perfect. Just out of curiosity, are you the only person?
Okay, well, hold on, Mo. I think we made the same mistake again there, and maybe I didn't explain it right. Let me try.
Maybe.
Yeah, remember, you have to add in. You have to add in that you're not going to see. So you are saying it right, that the first payment you're going to receive from me is $3,600. But I think people are going to infer from that, well, obviously that's the monthly payment. So you want to make it more clear. You aren't getting any of the $295 until the back end. You're not getting any of the $295 until I begin making payments to you. And my first payment to you on that $295 is the $3,600. So you're not going to see any money from me until we close, beginning with that $3,600. You're good with that, aren't you? Well, no, man, I got to have a down payment. It's subtle, but there's a distinction. And maybe I'll have to listen back to the tape and see if I'm explaining it right. But are you catching the distinction that I'm making?
I am. Again, it's just one of those things. If I were to repeat that to myself 1,000 times, it would get in my head facing that whole script. I think that's where I got lost yesterday too, because I didn't obviously
It's
get
the
to
whole
that stage.
Because we don't want to hide things from people. We just want to explain things in a way. It's still to their look, folks. Let's okay. So Tomas, you got to explain what you mean, because I don't want it to be so subtle that you think that the seller's not going to understand what we're talking about. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to let the seller know in no uncertain terms they ain't getting no down payment, but I don't want to use the verbiage of down payment like everyone else teaches, because the minute you say down payment, 100% of the time, 99% of the time, they're going to be like, I'm supposed to get one of those. But the fact of the matter is the amount of money they get does not change. $295 is $295, whether it's $295 all of it later and $0 now, or $100 now and $195 later. So I don't want to encourage them to ask me for 100 now. Otherwise, I'm out. Totally changes the deal. So I want to do it in a way where I am being transparent with them, like really, really clear. You ain't getting jack shit from me on this 295 until I start making monthly payments on this. The bulk of the money that you get, it all comes on the back end. That's what I want you to understand. So the first time you're going to see money from me, that's actually the verbiage right there. This is the verbiage you have to like highlight and underline. The first time you're going to see any money from me, pause. The first time you're going to see any money from me on that 295 is the monthly payment. Fair enough? Do you see what I'm doing there? The first time you're going to see any money from me on that 295 is the monthly payment. And maybe even hopefully they're like, well, what about a down payment? I mean, I'd rather they not, but if they do, if they're like, what about a down payment? That gives me a chance to go into the objection handling. Down payment, 295 is 295, whether you get some now or some later, isn't it? 295 is 295, 0 now, 295 later, 100 now, 195 later, it's the same. If I got to give you a whole bunch of money up front on top of paying your closing costs, on top of probably staging the house, thousands of dollars, paying my closing costs, waiting a couple months, making you a couple of these 3,600. I mean, I'm going to be coming out of pocket lots and lots and lots and lots of dollars for no reason. It doesn't change the amount of money you get. You still get 295. Ain't no reason to split it up, is there? I already am putting skin in the game. That's the only reason banks even require down payments. Then once you have skin in the game, I got a hell of a lot of skin in the game. I said I was going to pay your closing costs, paying my closing costs. I'm going to be staging it, have it vacant for a couple months while I'm paying you. I got a lot of money into this thing up front. I got tons of skin in the game. But you're still getting full price. It's just you get it all on the back. That's fair, isn't it? Look, man, I don't give a shit about any of that. I got to have some money down out this mother mucker right now because I'm trying to start a business. I'm trying to move. So how much are you going to give me down? Well, I get it. How close to zero can you get? About $50,000. What's your next choice? You see how it goes, guys? We just let them. We're malleable. We just flow with them, right? We're not forcing. We let them know how it is, and then we flow with them. And if it's like, if the guy's like, well, I got to get half of it. Well, it ain't. That's not going to be a deal that we're going to do terms on. You didn't waste your time going out to the house. That's a deal that you're going to move into the realtor side at that point. Does that make a little bit more sense?
Yeah.
Let's try one more time, Mo. Let's see if we can get it. Let's see if we can nail it this time.
Perfect, Joe. So Joe, in regards, just to kind of recap. So I'll be buying the house from you for $295 for a term of 5 years at a payment of $3,600. Joe, just to remind you or confirm, so the first time that you're going to see any money from me on that $295 is the first payment, correct?
Can you explain what you mean by that?
So the $295 that you'll be receiving, that will be coming on the back end. That's the price that we agreed upon. So any money that you're going to see from me will be that first payment of that $3,600.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm quite following you. Mo, do you have the script in front of you by chance?
I do not, Joe.
Yeah, so let me just pull it up real quick, okay? Hold on one moment, because I think that this might be something that you're going to want to try to memorize here. I can grab it from the slides, but it'll be quicker if I just pull the document up here. I want to read it like word for word for you here. Actually, let's just do it from the slides. That'll be a better way of doing it. Let me go back to the slides and let me show you exactly how this goes right quick. I hope you all don't mind just staying a little bit late tonight. I'm not going to go too long, but I want to get through this for sure. So, okay, right here. Duration. Okay, here's the down. Okay. So Mo, you be the seller, okay? This time, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right, Mo. So that's pretty much it. 295 price. You're talking about 5-year term, 3,600 a month. So I want you to know I'm pretty excited about this. I'm gonna have to invest a lot of money up front because remember, I said I would pay both your closing costs and mine, didn't I?
Yes.
I'm not going to be the one living in there. So I'm actually, the house is beautiful, but I have to make it generically perfect for buyers, and for the bank to be able to appraise it, so they can bring the loan in that gets all of us paid off. So I'm going to like probably stage it, maybe spruce it up just a little bit on my dime to make it pristine for my buyer. So I got to spend a lot of money there too. Also, very likely that I'm going to have to make a couple payments to you before we put the ideal person in who loves the house and can get us, and who can qualify the quickest and get us all cashed out. So that means that the first time you're going to see money from me, or our first payment directly to you, that's going to be the monthly payment that we agreed on. Now you're good with that, aren't you?
I'm not sure what you mean, Joel.
Yeah, what I mean is I owe you 295 on this house, but the first time you get any money from me is that $3,600 payment. Fair enough?
Not really. I was actually expecting possible down payment.
Well, Mo, I kind of putting a lot down, aren't I? I'm paying your closing costs, my closing costs. I'm staging the house. I have to make a couple monthly payments on it. I got a lot of money that I'm coming to the table with on this, don't I?
I understand that, but I was actually looking to get some money out of it too.
I get it.
Uh,
Well, let me just ask you this real quick. At 295, if I give you some money out of it now and I give you the rest later, or I give you all of it later, which is what I'm intending to do, how much total money do you get in both those scenarios?
295.
Yeah. So what difference does it make to you? It makes it a lot less attractive to me if I got to split it up for some reason. I'm already putting a bunch of money into the thing. You know what I mean?
No, I understand. We were hoping to get some money out of it because we were looking to use it for other purposes.
All right. Well, I'd probably go into what are those other purposes. So just be like, no, man, I got to have something down.
I gotta have something down, like when the house sells, Joel.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't think that's unreasonable, but it just makes it a little bit less attractive to me, but it's not unreasonable. How close to zero can you get?
I mean, we were looking to get between 10 to 15 grand
10
in
to
our
15
pockets.
grand? 10 to 15
Yeah,
grand?
correct.
Okay. So after 10 grand, what would be your next choice?
9, 8.
Well, I like you, Mo. You're heading in the right direction. How much
I
less
can't
than
take
that?
I can't take less than 8,
You're
Joel.
telling me, Mo, if I don't bring all $8,000 to the closing, you'd rather me just walk away, not buy this house?
No, I mean, I would
Well,
like
you
8,
tell me.
Joel.
You tell me. I know what you would like. Shoot, I'd like to look like Brad Pitt, but ain't gonna happen. How low can you go? I understand you got to get a little scratch from this, but
I can't take anything less than 7, Joel.
7?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do this. We're at 295, I believe, price wise. You want 7 down, so I'll owe you 288. I'm going to pay you 3,600 a month, and I've got to get that paid off at some point within the next 5 years. You're willing to do that?
Yes.
Okay. So Mo, are you the only owner of the house, or is there anyone else on the deed with you there?
No, it's my wife as well.
Mrs. Mo?
Yes.
Does Mrs. Mo know that Mr. Mo is selling her house?
Yes, we've talked about it extensively.
Okay. So she's cool with this.
I will have to talk to her. Yes.
You have to talk to her. Well,
Well,
what if she
let
says no?
her let her know what we discussed, and
Okay.
then
Okay. Okay. I have a feeling Mrs. Mo wears the pants in your family.
she used to be a cop, so yes.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, look, um, that's cool. So okay, so look, I got you again, 295, 7 grand down, 3,600 a month, pay you off in 5 years. Um, can you just explain to me what I just explained to you so I make sure we're on the same page before I send you some paperwork on this and it won't be your problem anymore?
Sure. So we agreed on a price of 295 for a term of 5 years, 3,600 a month, and 7,000 in my pocket.
All right. Well, cool, man. So let me do this. Let me take a little bit. You're familiar with DocuSign, I assume. I'm just going to
Yes.
go ahead and fill in the blanks on our standard template. I'll send that over to you. Click through that. And as soon as I get that back, then I'm going to come over and check out the house. I'll need to check out the house just to make sure you're not selling me a lemon here. You wouldn't do that to me now, would you, Mo? Because we have to get
No.
Mrs. Mo the cop. I
Hmm.
don't know. Maybe you guys like playing cops and robbers at night. I don't know, but I ain't trying to get robbed. So, um, so yeah, I'll shoot that over. I'll shoot that paperwork over to you, and you think you'll be able to get that back over to me tonight, or I guess tomorrow morning at the latest. I can't really come over tonight anyway.
Tomorrow will be better.
Okay, I'll shoot that over, and then let's touch bases tomorrow. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep, very good. So, so guys, yeah, I mean that's one way that it could go down. It could go down a lot of different ways, right? But that's one way that it could go down. What was that helpful to you, Mo, as far as framing that just a little bit differently?
Yeah, it definitely gives me a framework. I'm not sure about the others as far as like literally what happens or how to go ahead and push that conversation all the way down to that contract phase. So
Yeah, and look, you said, I mean, I basically had a priapismic moment when you said 10 to 15 grand, because I thought you were going to say 10 to 15%, and then I was going to go a whole different direction. But you said 10 to 15 grand on a $295,000 house. I know I'm getting more than that down. So I'm already in the black on that. You know what I mean? I already know I'm going to make money on that house. And then when you took it down to 7 with a little bit of nudging, now I'm even happier, right?
right.
So, so yeah, man. Now let's be real. Most of the time, you're not going to get it to flow like that. So let's just be real. You got to be willing to put up. You got to kiss some frogs, right? But those frogs that you kiss turn into princes and princesses because you got the realtor piece.
Yeah.
That's why I want you all to get the license, right? Kissing frogs isn't the bad thing in this system because we can make money no matter what. And that's why you can be more agnostic as to what occurs, and you can joke around and say stupid shit on the phone and just have fun with people. You're helping them out one way or another. And if you approach it that way, hey, I'm Amazon.com. Do you want to buy this or do you want to buy that? That's pretty much the way it goes, because they ain't doing nothing with that house that we couldn't do for them, because they're not selling it by themselves. There's going to be a realtor involved. And if they do that, they're out of their freaking skull, because unless they're savvy, but they will get eaten alive by the buyer's agent. Unless they have proper representation. Now that might come from someone else because they're a better salesperson than you as a realtor, but it's unlikely because our approach is so much better than a realtor salesperson, because we're actually a buyer who fell back into the position of listing it for them. Whereas the listing agents who are calling, they're just going boom right through for the throat for a listing. They're not even offering to buy it. We're talking to them about buying it. It puts us at a higher level, a higher pedigree. Okay.